Today's Mob Rules is brought to you by the new Phobos pattern armor. Are you looking for a new way to stealth upon your friends and family and scare the bejesus out of them? With this armor, no one will ever hear you coming. Here comes Danny testing it out right now. Danny, what do you think?
I'm hunting rabbits.
No. Is it what?
Man, Phobos armor, the number one stealthy little.
Danny, would you get out of the Phobos armor, please? I'm trying to record.
Sorry. So, like, all I can imagine when they first announced the Phobos armor, and they're like, yeah, this is stealthy. And I know we've all seen all the memes where it's kind of like this such blue, very stealth, cloak over shoulder. But I just imagine these huge pistons and things like just boom, 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 all the way down. And like just a couple chaos cultists making a plan and completely ignoring the ground shaking around them. And like this approaching piston sound. But yeah, it's amazing.
As the captain walks upon them and kills them.
Yeah, it's just like, they don't know I'm coming!
I feel like with that model.
For the Emperor!
Alright, so we're going to summon some demons, and it'll be awesome, Danny. So,
It's going to be amazing.
I'll summon the...
Advance on that position!
Anyway. Just listen.
Hold on. We'll wait for...
Just...
All right.
Get that by.
Are you good? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's summon some demons.
Alright, so dibs on the poxwalkers.
Pop smoke!
Oh, that last bit was
Yeah,
a little loud.
that was it. That was very loud. And after that, he just steps on the hut. So,
People, they just crushes them.
I feel like he's like in that pose, right? Obviously, he's not stealthy. Like in that pose, like
I don't know.
he's revealed himself.
Yeah.
How do you know he didn't just stealth up
Or
to that
he just,
position?
like, really runway model, like, throws the cape off behind his shoulder and is like, I'm here!
Like, and
Yeah.
they're just shocked. Like, they just sit, all of a sudden they're like, what the
That pile of camo racks in the corner was actually an 8-foot tall warrior of the Astartes. I'm
You
excited.
guys.
We should start.
I'm excited.
We should start every recording session by doing another Patreon video like that because it was
I
a
think
good
we
way
should.
to start.
That was a good way. Yeah. So today we recorded our first exclusive Patreon video. Don't worry, it's as quality content as you get from the podcast, but in video form.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So it's okay.
It was just okay.
I'm expecting it to do very well at Sundance. You know?
Well, yeah. I felt like my performance was a little stale, but I feel like next time I'm really going to nail it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the practice in. The time.
You're gonna put the practice in. You're gonna do
You're gonna
it.
sit
Use
at
the
home.
method.
You're just gonna sit at home and drink 4 Locos. Practicing.
Spoilers. God damn, Dave. But hey, we're a 40K podcast.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
We're a 40K podcast that are also for Loco enthusiasts, apparently.
So good.
Yeah, if you Google For Loco, we come up, which is
I mean, you have to scroll down a little bit. We're not at the top, but we're working on it.
probably not the best.
Yeah, one of us just needs to get drunk and like jump a motorcycle over some cars while drinking some Four Loco.
All right.
We'll be at the top in no time.
I'll do it.
Do it. So hey, Dave, 40K wise, what you been up to this past couple weeks?
Well, let's see. When we last met, we discussed my LVO performance and how lackluster it was, or something like that. I can't remember. I don't listen to the podcast myself, so I think it was good. Yeah, I think first.
Yeah, because Danny, you are back from your hands-on experience, kind of role-playing some Nurgle stuff.
Right.
Yeah, real life Nurgle.
Real-life Nurgle.
It was legit.
But I said I was going to play in 2 tournaments, and I managed to play in 0 tournaments.
Yes,
as to be expected.
as is the Mob Rules way.
I lost out to familial drama the first time,
Ouch.
where I had to be a referee. It was not. I would rather have been a referee playing 40K.
Did you get a whistle?
No.
Yeah, next time use that rape whistle you always carry with you.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have sex, Dave.
It doesn't work.
If you
I
blow
don't want
that
to scare
whistle.
off the rapist, Danny. Oh no.
It's just a dog whistle, like.
And then the Ultramar tournament was supposed to come up, and I was going to. The main reason I was going to play in that one was so that I could be there to help support Cody. Only he got sick, and wasn't sure he was going to make it. So we canceled out. So I went and did some Ferrandi stuff because the big Ferrandi thing with the family up here. Looked at some models then. That weekend went down to the train club. Got some ideas for some new display boards for the next
Are you going to do a model train display?
No.
Just got some ideas. You could make sure that part of your display was a pain station.
I don't even...
Instead of a train station. It's a station for pain.
Oh. Yeah. Here's
It's
the
like...
thing. If you have to explain it, it's not funny.
That's not true.
Yeah. No.
My wife laughs at all my jokes, and I explain all of them.
That's not true. I've been in your house for a long period of time.
I tried to do like a sipping noise of Four Loko, but I didn't realize I was sipping Four Loko into the microphone, so I went to sip, and it just burned my mouth.
John now has first-degree chemical burns in his mouth.
Yeah.
But
first-degree chemical, my favorite Four Loko flavor. But yeah, you had the best of intents though, and we all know that the life gets in the way, and sometimes you've just got to be stuck at home with like 18,000 kids.
It was 3 women who were not having a happy time with a visit.
Were they synced?
Yeah.
Oh man, see that's
why
rough.
That's why I had to stay home because I
split them up.
So the tournament day,
cares not.
I got up on tournament day and I was like, time for the tournament.
And I'm glad they don't listen to this.
God. And I woke up to just absolute screaming. All 3 of them were arguing, and I was like, "What is happening? Okay? I'm not going anywhere. I got to stay here and make sure that you all stay in your separate rooms." I was like, "Ryan, can you?" And I hear tires squealing as my 17-year-old son peels out of the driveway.
Smart.
It's just like, no, you're done.
Nope. I was like, should have done that.
Audi 5000.
Daddy, bring me an army to the tournament. No, I didn't have time to get it. I had to get out of the house. But yeah, we did that, and then I started some work on some stuff. I've been painting up 3 mortar squads for my custodes list. I've got Trajan.
It kills me a little inside when you say stuff like that.
I had that.
I wasn't aware
custodes had mortars.
I didn't know custodies had mortars.
They don't. Oh. But the heroic 32 do.
What the fuck was that? Jesus.
All right. Maybe we need to not drink Four Loko before recording.
It's during only.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah.
I'm blitzed.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know.
No, so I started. I got some base colors laid down on Trajan Valoris.
Nice. Good choice.
Trejo.
Trejo.
It's his couple name.
I ordered my.
Who's he a couple with?
We know Scarlett
Johansson.
Trejo. He's got a fantastic.
I thought it was the Emperor.
Yeah, twin-linked set of weapon. I don't know.
Trejamp.
Never before. Always during.
Yep. Nope. This is a bad idea. And then I started building some special props for an upcoming video we're working on.
Yes, very, very excited about the project we're working on right now.
Top secret. So
Top secret.
It's going to be money.
It's been requested, but it's a mob rule spin on it, which means we took a good idea and we're making it terrible.
Yep.
Yeah. As we do.
Yeah.
As we are wont to do. But yeah, we've all been working on some stuff for that there. So thank you, Dave, for doing most of the hard work.
It's only some of the hard work. They're all built and spray painted at this point. So
100% complete.
Yeah.
It's quality.
Yeah. Other than that, I've just been trying to work a little bit here and there, but I've been feeling very hobbied out. January and the beginning of February was such a
intense
flurry of intensity that it's kind of been nice not worrying about it. And I really want to save my intensity for when my Claudius grab tanks show up, so that I can get through those, because I really want those to look nice.
Now Danny works on commission for Forge World, right?
Yes,
I do.
Because Dave. Sorry, I take my cut from it. It's fine.
I actually don't think he does. I think our buddy Taylor does, because
but Dave, you bought 3 big ass Custodes floating resin bricks.
Mm-hmm. And I cannot wait to get them and build them.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to play your list. Actually, I want to see how I do, because
I'm going to be playing my list, so I don't know how you're going to play it.
Play against. I
don't want to swap,
Mr. Pedantic piece of shit. God damn
lists with you. I'm still mad at you about the chaos thing. I was going to do the chaos list too at the same time as we did our Tale of Warlords, but which was starting March 1st. So I'm glad we're holding true to mob rule standard.
And just
starting a month late.
Starting a month late. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
We'll blame Vegas babies.
And no joke, April 1st, we'll start.
I see that.
You
I
like
see that April
you see
1st? I
what
like
did?
that. Yeah.
The irony
pretty
is the company that I work for that is now the new company officially takes over on April 1st, and I have fought it every step of the way. Like, please just pick a different day.
That's great. They're
Do
like,
not announce to people that you
Hey,
are now
Dave.
the new owners on April 1st.
you lose all your vacation time. Great April Fool's joke. Ooh. Ooh.
It's close to home.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't really been doing very much. Just
Nice.
Well,
Just
a little bits here and there.
I think I'm the next least person. And even then, it's pretty good. Danny and I had a little hobby night here last week.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, should have come to that.
Yeah, you really should have. I managed to finish, apart from basing, 30 Plague Bearers.
Yeah,
which
that was impressive.
Which was super nice. Like I said, I think I have a pretty good skin recipe down. And especially, I just...
It looks good.
I spent the time that night just doing guts and tongues and horns.
Nice.
And, just like little things like that. So I got a lot accomplished for that there. I played a game with my wonderfully 80% painted list that I'm very happy with, and I got just trounced. So I was like, do you know that feeling when you put a lot of love and effort and you convert up your army and you build it and it's just gorgeous. It's immaculate.
That's how I feel about my All Primaris army.
And then you put it to the table and you're like, oh, I guess I'll just fucking die.
Nope.
I'm just gonna walk away now.
So he's gone now.
Man, I can't even.
I took bigger steps for the last one. But no, so I played a game against our buddy Nate and his Custodes list.
Oh, I'm sorry then.
He built in our living room because he was like, oh shit, I forgot my Tau stuff, who I thought I was playing. And he was like, yeah, let's build this Custodes list real quick.
So it was 17 dudes.
It was a little more than that. He had 3 squads of 4 spear guys. He had a squad of 4 bikes, a bike captain, Scarjo Valoris. He had 4 of the shotgun bolt gun guys. And then
the Sagittarius Guard.
yeah, the Sagittarius Guard.
Right.
And then he had a squad of 6 of the new Birdman.
Oh, right. Sorry, John.
Holy shit! Yeah, I mean, my stuff was resilient, and it lasted I think I had a squad of Plague Bearers tie up 3 of his units for 4 turns.
Did you use the Nurgle dice?
I did not, because I am a sane human being who respects my opponent.
Okay.
Good of you.
Yeah. But I learned a lot. It was kind of my first game with this list here. And I think I was talking to Danny a little bit about it afterwards. It's super bummed out when you're about turn 3, you're okay, I'm just trying to maximize points here. I'm not going to win, but let's see what I can do to kind of limit his scoring and kind of raise mine. And so I got a little bummed out from it. And then he played the same list against our buddy Taylor. And then he made Taylor, he tabled Taylor top of turn 3. So,
Or was it Aaron?
Or Aaron. I'm sorry, Aaron at top of turn 3.
I was like, wait.
Which is still super impressive. So I'm like, okay.
I mean, it is.
So my army lasted until turn 6. I still had stuff on the table. I feel pretty good about it now. So that's why I'm like, well, I'll take what I learned from the game because it was nice. Halfway through, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
You guys played before the new secondaries came out, right?
Yeah. So we're just playing classic ITC missions.
Actually, the secondaries for against Custodes are really good. There's Gangbusters is a big deal for them.
Yeah.
And so I think being able to score that would have helped you out a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I mean, it was great because I learned a lot of positioning things. I kind of split my army up into 3 parts when I should have split it up only into 2. So I have kind of this idea of this whirling tempest now, where I have kind of a Poxbringer and a spoiled Pox Scrivener and 3 plague tanks and 30 plague bearers kind of going up in a row, all kind of being buffed together. Whereas before I kind of separated that out into 2 things. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to stick with it for a little bit. The only thing I'm super on the fence about right now is I might drop the 2. The 2.
Plague Burst Crawlers?
Yeah, no, not the Plague Burst Crawlers.
the
Light
drones.
Haulers?
The drones.
Yeah, okay.
I might drop the drones because they're pretty good.
They're okay.
They're okay.
They're kind of situational.
I feel for 300 points, I could definitely put something else in that would fill a much better hole in the army. So
Giggity.
But yeah, I love the Plague Burst Crawlers. They did super good. They did great against the Custodes. Really having those 2 spitters on the side of each one really kind of screwed up a few of their charges because I'm auto-wounding a lot of stuff. And with that Poxbringer or Pox bringer in the center, like the strength was just really handy to have.
Right.
So, like I said, a lot of positives to take from it. And the core of my army is going to stay the same. I was a little bummed out with Typhus. He didn't really do as much as I thought he was going to do, but at the same time, everything in his army pretty much had a 3-up invulnerable save. So even though like I'm hitting on 2s, like I'm wounding super easy, it's really hard to do anything when you're like 3-up, fuck you, 3-up, fuck you, 3-up, fuck you.
How was he getting into a 3-up? You mean a 4-up?
Well, or a 3-up armor save because like everything in John's army is mostly like -1.
Okay.
So
-1 or -2 or other things, and then those little birdmen ignore -1, so he parked them in cover, and he had a 2-up save on those guys. So I learned a lot. Bird guys are good.
I started building my bird guys until I realized that I had the wrong type of glue.
Oh.
And it did not go. I had.
Did you have Elmer's?
No, Elmer's probably would have been better, to be honest.
Probably.
I had super thin.
Oh.
So I was like, here's a little bit of glue. And it just suddenly the resin was glued to my hand. Because it just ran everywhere.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
never used that glue.
Hey guys, sponsor us, but I only use Gorilla Glue Gel. That is my one and only glue I use for super glue. Because it's super thick, so it does a little bit of gap filling for you.
I might have to try.
Yeah, and it dries really well. It's super easy to work with.
Because I picked up some of the regular.
And because it comes out in a blob, you can control it way easier than the liquidy super glue.
I use purple.
I use the.
Purple.
I use the purple.
Yeah,
lid.
Bob Smith purple glue.
You know what I love about it though is you can say you use purple. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
What's that?
The cyanic purple bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I tried to use too. It also didn't work for me. I was like, it's not working. So I might have to try your gel for the resin because I am having trouble with it.
Do you use Accelerator?
I mean, no. At my advanced age, I try not to speed anything up.
It's
Wow.
It's Viagra for glue. It makes it harder quicker.
Almost instantaneously.
Almost instantaneous.
Well,
but when it
so
fails,
not
it doesn't.
Viagra, then.
But when it fails, it doesn't work for hours after.
I don't know, Dave. I've never had to take that.
Does
before.
the glue last? If the glue holds for longer than 4 hours, do I have to consult a doctor?
Only if it's made out of
Only if
fine
you
cast.
Yeah, or you keep it in the freezer.
That was a good burn. That was a good burn. Danny, as the most prolific of us this last 2 weeks.
Now, Danny.
Oh my gosh.
This is going to be a little bit longer segment, I think. I want to go back and get. Since
All right, let me relax here for a second.
All right, there you go.
I'm getting into a good headspace.
All right, I want you to catch our listeners up on an abbreviated LVO experience if you can.
Okay, sure.
Oh wait, I got something for this.
Yes, thank you. That's my music.
There it is.
That's good music to describe my LVO experience, or at least how I did. So I played in the championships. Well, first of all, I'd like to go over a couple of things first.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Before the championships, we had the great preview night, right?
Oh yeah.
Which was
We
amazing.
talked about that. Did you listen to our last episode, by the way?
I did.
Because that shit was awesome.
I'm incredulous of some of the things that happened because I didn't see them happen. So but I don't know because you were gone. So you just disappeared like some kind of fucking middle-aged ninja, and I never saw you. It was crazy.
Oh, are you at the whole over event or just
No, you would say stuff like, "Oh yeah," and then I went and talked to Jeff Robinson and gave him badges.
No, he was literally sitting next to me.
I know, but I'm like, when did that happen? I just didn't see it happen. So not that I don't believe it happened.
But it didn't, you lying piece
You
of shit.
piece of shit.
Totally
fucking
did.
whore.
You could see an old school Jeff 1.0 sticker. He's on his display stuff.
I'm going to message him and just be like, I'm sorry that my friend Dave slapped your hand out of the way.
He's going to be like, first off, who are you? And second off, tell that guy he's dead to me.
Anyway, so that hobby seminar was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, I'd like to fill you in on the question that I asked the GW designers team. So the question that I asked them was whether or not they're taking into account some of the statistic gathering that's been going on for army wins and losses and percentages of units that are taken in competitive events.
That's being done by what's the gentleman's name?
Peter the Falcon.
Peter the Falcon.
He's a hell of a guy.
Yeah.
He's a super
Wait,
nice
his
guy.
last name is the Falcon.
I think it's actually Peter Falcone Charisma. Have you listened to chapter tags? Because that's what he does every single episode.
Oh, really?
To introduce himself, yeah. So
Just calls like a bird. Well,
I think it's Falcone because he's
So he's a
Italian.
mobster?
I don't know, maybe. So
Hey, we got to get these statistics up here. So in the ITC.
no, dude, he's very Canadian.
Let's go.
He's very, very Canadian.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, we got to get these statistics up here. I'm
Hey.
sorry.
Fantastic.
Pablo, I'm sorry to bother you, but we can get about
Man, the
a
Canadian
boot.
Italian accent is very is
Hey,
excellent.
let's get a boot getting these models off this truck, boys.
All right. Anyway, so moving on. So I asked him.
I take it back. 4 Local before is good.
So I asked them if they were taking that stuff into account, and they said yes, kind of. And so
Let's be honest. That's not what they said.
yeah, no, that is what they said. They said yeah, we are, but
Well, I think you're downplaying it, because they literally said thank you for not having a question about X, and then you beamed like a chibi anime girl, and then asked your question.
well, we weren't sure who they were pointing to initially, like if it was me or a guy behind me. And so they had to specify, which was good. Anyway, so they said,
The problem is that all the specifications they were using in that scenario was like you, the bearded guy, the big bearded,
which is like
guy,
everybody in the fucking room, right?
guy, the
like,
big
yeah.
beard-
You were the
guy.
large bearded gentleman in his mid-30s.
But who was the guy who was?
you in the shitty podcast T-shirt.
Wait, I think in a preview room at GW, the bearded guy in his mid-30s with a shitty podcast covers
Who's
far too much.
who's also chubby.
Covered everybody but
Covers
Eric.
everyone in the community.
Yeah, so actually, I had one of the guys who went with us. He's kind of a smaller gentleman who's in the military. He's like, "What is it with Warhammer players? Why are so many of you so tall? Like, I don't understand."
What
Like,
did GW
everybody
say
who
to that
plays-
question?
No, this was not. It's for a superior race of humans.
I love that. I just imagined, hey, does anyone have questions about Warhammer 40,000 in the future? Yeah, why is everyone so tall? In Warhammer? No, in this room.
I don't get it. Anyway, so it was Adam, right? Who was answering the question? Adam Troke.
Oh, Adam Troke.
Yeah, what a good guy. He's so
such a sexy voice, doesn't
well,
he have it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I have a
Don't
sexy voice.
fucking bullshit me. You know you were back in your room going, I hope Mitch is asleep. I got to rub one out to Adam Troke's voice saying my name, my answers.
Anyway, yeah. So I had a question. So they answered my question, kind of like they said, yeah, we look at this stuff, but at the same time, we have to take it with like a little bit with a grain of salt, right? Like, obviously, the Heroic 32 isn't winning events, like blah blah blah. And like my counter to that is like, yeah, well, kind of it is though, because if it wasn't really good, then people wouldn't take it.
All right, so the Heroic 32 is good for what it does, but it by itself is not winning you events.
No, but the 5 CP that it gives you is.
Could potentially, yes, but only if you're able to use the 5 CP well, because you could be just absolutely terrible at handling your units, and having 5 CP. That's
I'm
nothing.
great at handling my unit.
You have multiple units?
It's got a Swiss Army dick.
Gross. Anyway, so but like 40K players are always going to be drawn like
Really
a moth to
tall.
the flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, to being tall
Okay.
and having beards and being chubby. That's just a thing that happens. Or morbidly obese. I don't know. There's a lot of people. The people fit the spectrum. Anyway,
Yeah.
but really, no. 40K players, like especially competitive players, are going to be drawn to the most competitive choices in a book, right? Or the most competitive choices in the game. It's not. They're not always going to take their favorite army because it's their favorite army. Like people who are good are drawn to armies who are also good, and that's just like a fact. So, like, even though Ynnari is bad in the hands of somebody who isn't good, because so many people that play it are very good, it makes it really, really good, and that's why it has the kind of high win percentage that it does.
It's a very technical army. You have
Sure.
to know what you're doing to be
Absolutely.
able to use it properly.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas I think the Heroic 32 is just kind of, you don't have to know what you're doing to still win games.
It's a
if
staple
you
of
take it.
imperialists, right? Like, you're going to take some variation of it. Like, I feel like most lists have guard, like if you're playing imperialists, because it's a cheap way to get CP if you're taking the battalion or you're taking the brigade. Like, there's a lot of really good choices in that book.
The
that
problem with
help
the
you out.
brigade is you have to know really well how to actually play better, because you're putting a lot of points into the brigade.
I don't know, not that many.
I mean, Imperial Guard, you can get a pretty cheap little brigade going.
Well, you need 3 heavy sports, 3 elites,
it's like
right?
it's like 850 points, right?
Yeah.
For the brigade.
But that's still a large chunk of your army. If you're not good at playing that protection, it's going to hurt you more than it is.
But it also is like 60 bodies and plus a bunch of characters. It can do a lot of stuff. I don't know. I don't want to argue semantics about it, right? Like, it's a good choice. The Castellan list is really good and probably needs to be nerfed. Anyway, which is funny because I didn't end up playing against any Castellans.
And you still went.
So, my first
Spoilers,
game,
Dave.
I wake up bright and early. I get to the table. I'm playing a really nice English gentleman by the name of Mark Crumbleholm, who is probably
Sounds the most British.
it's super.
ever.
It's
Yes.
hyper British, in fact.
Yeah.
Did he wear a 3-piece suit?
No, but he kept having guys from England, or English guys or other guys that know him from Beast Coast, come and bring him water during our game, and me water because I sweat profusely when I play.
I was going to
That
say,
is
did you have no one bringing you water, and was it hydration that was your issue?
Yeah, that's how he beat me. Actually, no, he beat me through really good. So I lost this game. He was playing Dark Eldar, and Dark Eldar with some Craft World stuff in it as well, and he had 21 grotesques and some support characters, Farseer, Eldrad, a bunch of dudes, and then some rangers and stuff, and then three planes.
Okay.
So
kind of your standard template almost.
yeah, I would say it's pretty close. It's just a really good list, and anytime you have Vect against orcs, it just kicks them in the balls super hard, right?
Oh.
So because orcs rely on having stratagems so much and not being able to do stuff
Mob up and
well, I mean, he didn't cancel Mob Up.
Green Tide.
Green Tide.
He didn't cancel that either. He canceled Mordaka every time. That was the one he picked, which was great because otherwise I would have killed all the planes and or the grotesques. Pretty much, I think I would have murdered them. And I had a couple of my first turn, because he gave me first turn, which was smart. And I got to shoot at some grotesques before he got to move. But I got a 1 reroll to a 1 for number of shots with my Ludas.
Ooh.
And since they were hitting on 6s, because they had to move to get line of sight, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So that was hard. And then, he just moved stuff forward, and I tried to kill stuff and do what I could when I could. I try to do stuff that I could when I can, and kill stuff. But it was hard. It was hard. And that's fine. First round loss, especially to someone that good who's ranked 30th in the ITC, and I think he got 2nd or 3rd in Dark Eldar this year. So a really good player, really good opponent, super nice guy too. So that was my round 1 loss. Then I played against a really nice young lady who had Necrons, which was fun. She was a super good sport, not a super competitive hard list. So I was able to kind of milk some points out of that list and not finish her off super fast, so that I could get phrasing, whatever.
Are we not doing phrasing
Anyway,
anymore?
2019, Dave.
so I got a decent amount of points out of that game, which was fine. Round 3, I ended up playing against an Imperial Soup list, and my opponent.
But no Castellan in the Imperial suit.
No, he had a Knight Valiant, a unit of 6 robots. He had an AdMech battalion. He had Call, he had an Onager, and then Heroic 32. So he had a Hawkshroud Knight.
Oh.
So I didn't know how their stratagem worked, and I asked him what, because when you start off a game like that, a lot of times it's all right, so what's the trick?
Which stratagem?
So the Hawkshroud, House Hawkshroud, their house stratagem is that they get to fire Overwatch.
Yes, they basically get for the greater good.
Sure, but it's with any Imperial unit, which I didn't realize it's not just for House Hawkshroud units.
Do what now?
It's with any Imperial unit. So if you charge a little shitty squad of guardsmen,
Did you pull up your Imperial
You could
Codex and
Overwatch.
look at it?
Well, I did afterwards,
Okay.
yeah. Or when he said that, I'm like, really? And so I looked, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's right.
That doesn't sound right.
Now, but the thing was, is he didn't remember that, because basically I made a move where I charged Mega Knobs at his robots, because he had a unit of 6 robots that were locked down, and I'm like, sick, dude, I'm gonna get these Mega Knobs in there, they're gonna mess up some robots, it's gonna be awesome. And then once I had the robots locked up with the Mega Knobs, because I could charge them out of line of sight, so they couldn't overwatch me, or one robot could overwatch me, so it wasn't a big deal. I got them in, and then I was able to charge with both my biker bosses. So Zadsnark and my 4 damage per hit biker boss.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he forgot to do the Overwatch stratagem. He told me like after the game was over. Had it been the other way though, I could have kept him in a building, and it would have been a slightly longer charge.
Right.
Like maybe like an 8-inch charge or something like that instead of like a 4-inch charge. So
yeah,
like I still would have done it. Like I would have kept out of line of sight of the knight to like lock it down so that he couldn't overwatch my stuff.
Right.
So anyway, and I would have charged the knight too to lock it up so it couldn't fire Overwatch against my my other. Anyway, so I got in there with my stuff, and basically that was like the beginning of the end because I started wrapping stuff up because once the robots are locked in combat, they can't fall back because they're locked down with shooting, so they can't move, but they can shoot twice. So they can't like fall back out of combat or anything like that. And then the boys were able to come in and just really
wreck face.
put the boot to him.
Nice.
So I won that one by a pretty substantial margin as well. So I see what my matchup is for day 2, and I ended up drawing a super nice gentleman from Ireland.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who I think also happens to be like the captain of their ETC team.
So you had very low quality opponents.
Yeah, no,
time.
No, it keeps going. All right, so so I saw his list the night before, and I'm like, come on, man, can't I catch a freaking break? So
isn't this the one where it's like 18,000 flyers?
he had 9 Eldar flyers. And so my orc foot list is like, oh, cool. So I thought of some stuff, and so my roommate at this event was Mitch Pelham, who's a really good player in the Northwest United States. And I talked with him. I'm like, hey, so what do you think I should do here? And he had some good ideas. Some stuff I was already thinking about doing already. Like I put one of my squads of Ludas into Deep Strike so that he couldn't shoot them right off the bat, and I could Deep Strike them in and then try and blow away a plane when they come down.
Smart.
Yeah, which worked out, and I was able to tease out a couple of Vex out of him beforehand, so he only had he couldn't Vect my Grot shield once they were down.
Nice.
Which worked out. But he's a super good player. He made a couple of mistakes, and I made a couple of mistakes as well. But ultimately, I was able to pull a lot of points out of this game. The game ended up being 30-25.
For a loss or for a win for you?
Oh, I lost. I got a 25.
That's a really good points. That's a really high scoring loss, though.
Yeah, no, I was happy. I was really happy with the result. Because he was first of all, super tough opponent, really nice, but super nice guy while we were playing. Like, wasn't janky at all or anything. And then, so I'm like, all right, well, 2-2, that's fine. Like, I just have to pick up the pace here for these last couple of games. That's no big deal.
Yep.
So my next game,
which you did, right?
Well, we'll see, Dave.
Okay.
So my next game was against Richard Window, I think is his name. So he won the Midwest Rampage with Tau this last year. So that's like an 80-person
It's not funny
major.
that he's won, but it's funny that you have like number 30 in the ITC, captain of the team European ETC team.
Yeah. So
Mr. Window, who was super good and won Tordians.
No, yeah, and so I think I could have won that game if I would have done a couple of things differently. I had the choice to go first or second, and I usually like to go second when I'm playing. Mm-hmm. But I didn't, so that was my mistake. I should have gone first, and I should have teleported into the building in the middle of the table, like because I could have done that fairly easily.
Yeah.
So
did you have one of the giant warehouse buildings?
Yeah, one of those. So I could have gone in there and then just kind of held that on. So he went first, and he barely, like with the last couple of shots, managed to finish off an entire unit of 30 boys. So which sucks because then I was going to green tide them, right? I didn't think he'd be able to kill all of them, but I forgot that Tau don't just have Kayon, they also have Mont-Ka, and so Mont-Ka lets you advance and still fire heavy weapons without penalty.
Neat.
So he was able to get a couple of extra inches of range on me that I wasn't expecting him to have. But that's my bad for doing that. And then on my first turn,
always got to be careful with a couple extra inches. Okay.
You always have to. Those can be the difference between life and death, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Or just bottoming out.
Yeah, which is bad too. Nobody likes that. Anyway, so
that was a dick joke.
Yeah, I
for our
guess.
Patreon.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Edit that out. And only include that in the Patreon.
Yeah, that's paper.
Yeah, I
Those
don't
of you
edit
that-
this normally. Now that you're getting below it, I'm still not editing it. I produced and directed a quality video that's now up for exclusively for Patreons.
Or anybody that can.
Or
find that
anyone
link.
who can find the links. Apparently, unlisted videos are all cool.
Nice. Anyway, so I got super aggressive on the first turn, and I teleported a unit of boys across the building and out of line of sight of his broadsides, but still just out of 9 inches. So if I make the 8-inch roll to charge, I can get in there and wrap up the broadsides. And, oh, by the way, my opponent's playing Tau. He's a really good Tau player. He's also like number 2 or number 3 in Tau.
I got that by you saying broadsides.
Anyway.
Hopefully our listeners did too.
So
They're smarter than we are, so.
And then I moved my biker bosses in front of his entire army, both of them, predicated on me making the charge and then getting in with the bosses on the broadsides.
I mean, it sounds like a really good
I mean, it
tactical
sounds
plan
like a
right now.
solid plan. How did that charge go?
Yeah.
Yep, that failed.
Okay.
So then I'm like, well, I'm not going to eat Overwatch from 2 Riptides and the full unit of broadsides that get to reroll on 5s against my lone little biker boss here. So nope, after that, I'm just going to make you shoot him.
Waste your shots.
So the unit of boys that failed the charge didn't end up dying all the way. It died most of the way, so I was able to green tide them, which was nice. But after that was really like that was the game lost there for me. Like I couldn't really come back from that. So I managed to get a few extra sneaky points, but yeah, it just didn't pan out for me very well. Which it's fine. That's the way it goes sometimes.
So going into game 6.
But it was my game to lose, and my error caused me to lose that game, and so I needed to play better. So that was my mistake, and I fully own up to that. I think that I could have played better and won that game.
Well, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but as long as you're actually full on learning from something that you've done, it's always better off.
Oh yeah, for sure. I won't ever do that again.
Rather than just blaming, the
I
dice
also
or-
will never learn again.
And like I don't normally. I'm
like
just
that's
skip it. Just skip it. Just keep going.
Keep going. Polite laugh and move on. Danny's learned. Why can't you?
No. I felt like you were trying to lead into like an 80s song. And I'm never gonna learn again. I'll make the mistakes with my old
Please don't.
boy.
You're gonna have us flagged on YouTube
Yeah.
for some Ukrainian karaoke video is gonna flag this shit now.
You're not fucking stressed with Gardage.
Stop! Turning
Everybody
off your
is-
mic. God damn.
That's fair.
So I. Oh my god! So some of
round
my
6.
other games, I don't feel like I could have done that in. Like I feel like I was gonna have a pretty hard time before I started.
I don't know. 9 flyers seems pretty easy for orcs to take out. Are you sure?
Yeah, if there were other flyers, I wouldn't care because I think I could move block them and make them crash. But
Vector dancing.
yeah,
My
it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, so my round 6 game was against a really nice gentleman from Southern California who also had orcs.
Oh, so orc on orc action.
Yep. So I was like, okay, cool. We're just gonna have a good time this game.
So obviously you won this game.
So he made me go first again, which is fine. I managed to not do a lot of my first turn. I basically killed some grots, but I didn't even kill that many grots because it was a 1-1 for my looters again.
So to be fair, at this point in time, you've had Kyle's giant 68-ounce.
That has
beer.
not happened yet.
No.
but
Oh,
it
really?
happens during this
It was
game.
during this game.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect game for it to happen in
Oh,
too.
it is then, yeah.
So basically, what ended up happening is all of the gambits that I tried, I didn't think through as well as I should have, and that fucked me up.
I
really
credit you for playing very orcally.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So like I made some moves that were bad moves, and I think that if I would have made those moves just a little bit better, I would have won the game. Like it was just little things like positioning and dude, he does foul shit all the time.
I do.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Don't do that on any video, please.
No, I don't.
Anyway,
Don't say what it is.
Totally.
Yes.
yeah, people. So for our listeners, if you want to guess what John is doing that's disgusting,
Hashtag John's gross.
Yeah.
I am.
please tag us on Twitter, hashtag John is gross or Dave sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one of those
Either
is
one
a
of those.
great hashtag to use to get our attention. So super fun game though, great opponent. But I think I made some mistakes. I think it was partially because I was tired. So after my last gambit failed, where he had a unit of boys that was hiding in the back of his table edge, and I used the jump on my Ludas to
Usually a solid plan.
Sure, yeah, it was good. I mean, normally great plan to teleport and blow away this unit of boys, right? And I had all the strats lined up. I was good to go. So I had more DACA and shoot twice. Rolled a 1 to a 1 again for my shots.
Oh no!
Oh.
So, which was a real bummer. I was like, son of a.
It seems like you were the Dick Dastardly of this situation, where your game was full of dastardly plans.
I mean, the math says that it doesn't happen very often, so like I can't get mad about something like that.
You
it was
can.
just a well, I could, but what's the point?
Yeah, there's no point in.
Like, and I was having fun, so it was like, okay, well, that's neat. And so, still with 25 of them shooting twice, I managed to kill them down to 10 models.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yep, and then they green tided, and then they were close enough to assault me, and like that was bad. Yeah, a couple of things about that game that were a bummer. Number one, like all my orcs were on 32s. My opponent's orcs were on 25s, and like no discredit to him because like there was no rule against that, right? Like they can be on 25, so he's totally allowed. But like it was just easy for me to see how much better orcs are on 25s as opposed to 32s.
Yeah.
Like for board control purposes, they're great on 32s, but like otherwise, like man, the amount of attacks that you can leverage comparatively is crazy.
Yeah.
I could see something like that actually getting enforced.
I think that there will be a 40k base size chart by the end of the year. That is my prediction.
I feel like that's a long way off. I feel like it'll be sooner than that. But
No, I said by the end of the year. I mean, it
so
could be
some
anytime
point
this year.
2019.
right.
So it could be
And
in March.
barring that, I could see actually being a something that gets worked into the ITC itself.
Yeah, probably not. I
Really?
can't see that. Yeah, they like to change as few rules as possible, and that would be changing a game rule anyway. So I ended up 2-4 at LVO, which is my worst tournament performance ever, like at any tournament ever that I've ever been to. So, and that's okay. Like I had fun with my games, and Saturday night I got super smashed, which was great. Yep, there we go. That's an accurate representation of my night, that music. And then Sunday I hung out with Phil the Glacial Geek for a lot of the day.
Yep.
And then watched a little bit of your games. Not much though, because you guys were busy. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I mean, if you have any critiques, you could throw our way.
I mean, I wasn't watching what you were doing.
Be better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should be better.
I felt like we so in talking, when we talked with the guys that we played our first game with, they were like, you guys did everything right. We just had the best possible go fuck yourself list for you guys,
Oh.
Like we did play stuff right. Like
Sure.
And at the end of turn 4 when we said, all right, let's just math this out, and we knew they couldn't kill the last squads that were in the building because they had no way to get inside the building, so we just we just figured out the points and called it good, and then went and had beers because that's what you do in a fun, friendly event. But,
Sure.
We actually talked about it. Cody was like, well, what can we do against that? And I was like, honestly, we did everything right. We had a few failures of dice, which is okay because that happens. It's a dice game.
Sure.
And the guys were like, yeah, no, you played it right. You just when you needed the dice to not be a 1, it was a 1. And that's just,
Sure.
It was like, it is what it is. We had a good game. It was close. I mean, the score, we were actually ahead for 3 of the
that's
of
good.
the rounds.
Yeah.
You know? So, we played tactically well. And then in the other games, we just
Not perfect.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's really hard to be tactically perfect. I mean,
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
it's something you got to work really hard at.
Don't think anyone can anymore.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good.
And so I'd like to give one shout out to Kyle. Kyle, you saved my life during Game 6. He brought me a quart of beer. That's what the can was. The size was a quart.
I was so drunk Sunday night. So drunk Sunday night.
Yep. So, oh man. So Sunday, right at the end of the night, we went to.
No, not me.
I know you didn't go. You didn't come with us.
The cool kids went.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just clarifying. Not me. I was already drunk on Kyle's beer.
We went to an all-you-can-eat sushi place.
Yeah.
That was an amazing choice. That was so good for Vegas. I forgot that Nevada has stuff like that. That stuff is great.
It's not. It's no blue ribbon chicken, but
Oh my God! Don't get me started about blue ribbon chicken.
I'm going to remind you of the blue ribbon chicken once a month until we go back to Vegas next year.
And I'm excited about next year because of that. John,
I can't wait for John to go.
I'm excited. Yeah, I have permission to go to Vegas next year. The dates have been announced.
let me tell you about the white Russian milkshake I had there.
That sounds like vodka with extra steps.
Well, it was a good delivery system. It got extra vodka into my veins. Anyway, so that was LVO for me. I had a great time. I recommend LVO to anybody. It's the biggest and probably most well-run tournament in the world that I've been to, right?
I think the only thing that I would change about our trip to LVO is arranging to fly back through Portland from now on.
Oh God, yeah.
Do not go through Seattle, people.
Well, that's just a.
I mean, it's not nothing against people in Seattle and the Seattle airport. You guys, they did the best they could, but you know the snow apocalypse, whatever 2019, whatever they called it, was just it really fucked us up. Like.
Yeah, we got home like 24 hours after we were supposed to.
Oh, you got home way sooner than I did.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
Oh.
And then we both got sick because some chick in an airport.
Yeah, then I got a sinus infection, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So, yep. So, but overall, I would do it again.
Yeah,
all of it again.
Yeah, I would.
Even the sinus infection.
I would do the shitty. I would do the shitty travel too again, just to be able to have as much fun as we did when we were down there.
So then after Vegas, I took a couple weeks off, like as far as gaming goes, pretty much. Well, I guess I built some models and stuff like that. I played one game with a new Gene Stealer book, which was fun. And then there was an ITC tournament that I missed because I wasn't feeling good, and I wanted to spend time with my wife. So
smart move.
Right.
What a great husband.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Wait. How come when I miss the same ITC tournament because I want to make sure that my wife doesn't kill my daughters, I'm not a good husband?
Because she would not
they're all
kill your
synced up.
daughters.
Oh, I don't know about that. You should have been in my house. There was some Jack Nicholas axe action going on. All right.
Anyway, so I did get to play in the most recent Ultramar tournament, though.
Yeah, we started that back up again.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
God. What a great event, by the way.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that idea was probably
man.
ahead of their time.
Well,
No,
So thanks, Nate.
they saw a hole and filled it.
you're ahead of the time, Dave, because you're old.
I don't.
Older than time. That's why he's ahead of it.
All right.
The day before time.
Yeah.
Coming never to a theater near you.
Anyway,
Worst porn ever.
so I brought
As the star of that porn. Disagree.
as a watcher of that porn, hard agree.
But yeah, so Danny, you played
Thanks for
in
downloading.
the Ultramar tournament. This was the first one after Nate and I took a little break from running things. I was still doing fatherly things
Absolutely.
with the newborn. So Nate took the reins on this one, but we did introduce some super fun new things to this one.
Yeah, we did character creation rules.
Yep.
Which was super fun. I chose. Oh, so while John was painting up his 30 Plague Bearers, I brought over my Deathkiller Wartrike and finished up that. So
It ended up looking really nice too.
yeah, I was happy. I
Yeah,
was
it looks
really happy
good.
with it. It's nice and tabletop. I got that thing got so crazy. So I rolled up +1 wound and +1 toughness.
Oh shit, toughness.
Oh, yeah.
So and I got
Now, didn't you have a toughness 8?
yeah. So there's a relic from Vigilus that gives +1 toughness and a 5+ invul. So he had toughness 8 with 9 wounds.
And a 5-up invul, so you're gonna be targeted.
Yep. And then he was -1 to hit from shooting, from exhaust. And then his exhaust weapons were +6 inches to range
So character creation rules.
and
Primo.
ignoring cover. And I rolled up a 2+ ballistic skill on him.
Oh
Jesus. God. Why?
And he also could call in an airstrike.
Now,
That's wonderful.
for everybody that's listening, the character creation rules are in chapter approved 2018. And they are, it was literally completely random, rolled up in front of the TO.
Right.
So it's not like Danny was like, I think this sounds good. It was
Nope.
just how
I just was like, yeah,
how
hey,
well he
let's see
rolled.
what happens.
So was there any other like super great weird characters that were created out of that?
Yeah. Aaron had a Grandmaster for Grey Knights that had a 5 damage Thunderhammer.
Jesus.
I mean, I think it was illegal technically, but like nobody cared.
No.
And that was rad because I mean 5 damage Thunderhammer is pretty
Just
cool.
like soloing characters in one swing.
Right, yeah. So he killed my biker boss. But due to the scenario, like, because I played him. That was my second game. I played him, and I lured him. And by the way, I was shit-talking him the entire time I was doing that. So, like, he was like, man, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to smash that guy up. I'm like, yeah, sweet. And he's like, cool, I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself for +1 invulnerable save. I'm like, yes, you are. And then he cast it, and I go, man, I would never stop that. He goes, why? I said, well, because when you're within 3 inches of the objective for the submission rule, you can't take invulnerable saves. And so he looked at me, he's like, you son of a bitch. And so I'm like, you fell I told him you fell for my trap card, and he charged my boss, right? And he's like, okay, whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, I've got 2 melt-a-gun. I got a 2-shot melt-a-gun on him. He's like, well, overwatch him. You're not going to do anything. Double 6s.
Oh no.
And then he's like, okay, well, you got a wound. I'm like, all right. Oh, first one, then I was like, more DACA? Okay, no, I didn't get any hits. All right. So I rolled the wound, 2 wounds. He made both of his invulnerable saves. So actually the 3+ actually helped him and
Super
saved him
helpful,
from a
yeah.
melt-a-gun hit.
Ooh.
Right.
So he gets in there, he smashes up my war boss. Like, okay, that's fine. So I spent 2 CP and smashed him up back. So we literally killed our warlords.
Because you have that stratagem in the Orc Codex where
Yeah.
if you die, your character can fight again.
Orcs is
before-
never beaten, dude.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Live, die, repeat.
And so I did a bunch of other fun stuff, like I shot exhaust at one of his planes, and then I charged one of his planes when it went into hover mode with my buggies. So fun stuff like that. But overall, super fun time. I got to play some really fun opponents, some people that I haven't played before. I got to play Joe, who I haven't played in like forever.
Yeah. Joe's always a fun
Joe's
game.
a fun game, yeah.
Yeah. My most fun game was against Aaron though, because of the amount of shit talking, and he was good with it, so it was fun.
I'm sure he was giving it back as well because we're teammates.
He was,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a funsy game for sure.
So against Joe's playing Chaos. I had Heartbreak Hill, right? So I killed. He had a unit of 40 cultists. So first turn, I'm like, all right, here's my plan. I'm gonna kill like 10, then I'm gonna stop, because once I hit like a critical threshold, he's just gonna spend 2 CP and bring them all back, right?
Right.
I'm like, all right, next turn, everything into the cultists. I killed them down with assault and everything else to 1 cultist left.
No.
And like I charged him with 2 buggies that get on a 4+, they do mortal wounds. And failed both the 4+. Like there was just a couple of things that could have happened, like swung my way, that didn't, and it was a bummer. So they all came back, but it was fine because I did some other jank and like killed his Defiler and stuff like that.
No, Mr. Krabs. Did you
Oh
kill
yeah,
him?
Citizen Snips died to my blade.
That's what happens what happens when you get a war boss that makes Gazkul Thraka look like a pussy.
Well, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but super fun time. So I won that event. Next time I'm going to try really hard to bring a very, very bad list.
I told you to bring Grey Knights. I think my exact words were "do it, pussy."
No, I don't have Grey Knights though.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
It's
like
the
an
only army
excuse.
Danny doesn't have because they're not good.
No, but I would play them. I think there's a build there. I think there's going to be competitive Grey Knights at this next ICC tournament.
I hope so, because
This
then
weekend.
I can finally use that
Who's
demon
bringing
stratagem.
competitive?
I watched Rob Porter buy 2 boxes of Grey Knights.
All right.
I think a unit of 10 paladins is coming out.
I don't want to shit talk Rob Porter, the admin of Comp 40K. So
This will make it seem less like you're shit talking.
okay, but just because he's buying something like that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be any good. Porter actually did not do any better than you did, and
Porter went 4-2.
what?
He
Yeah.
went the opposite of Danny. He did very well.
He did twice as good as me.
a 50% improvement.
I don't know. He
100%.
He didn't place as high as he thought.
I don't
as
math
other people
well.
wanted him to, and I thought he didn't. I thought he went 2 and 4.
No, he did really well. He's super good.
So did Mark Winter. Mark Winter went at 4-2.
No,
he was 1-2 the first day, and then he won all 3 of his games.
Oh, so he
both of them did.
He portered it then. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they did good. I don't know.
No, I mean like you do shitty on day 1 and then you really pick up your game on day 2 against crappy opponents.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Porter played on his first game. He ended up playing Josh Death, who made top 8.
Yeah.
So like it's like he was playing against tough opponents for sure. Anyway.
Yeah, Alaska did really well at LVO. I'm sure we'll do even better next year.
Yeah, Jason.
Heck yeah.
Jason Ryder went 4-2. Brandon went 3-3, and Danny and Eric have scores that didn't record for some reason. So but I can
Super
only
weird.
imagine
Tim went 4-2 as well, I think.
Yeah, Timmy Boy went 4-2. Great showing all around. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some very exciting happenings from this week in 40K and the Vigilus system.
Woot woot.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking, or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
I really wish they were using reaver heads. Did you press?
But they're
record?
not. I did press record. I'm sorry. I was waiting for the perfect moment to jump in. The Vigilus campaign continues.
And we're back.
And we're back. The Vigilus campaign continues. Book 1, we had Vigilus Defiant.
Such a good book.
Yeah, such a good book about the Gene Stealer cult infiltration and Vigilus and the Orc invasion and the Imperial response. And then Harkin World Claimer and a bunch of emo fucking emo Raptors and Heldricks come down playing I Can Only Assume Thunder by AC/DC or whatever the 41st Millennium equivalent is.
Mouth.
Thunderstruck is one of the best
songs.
I didn't say it was a
ever.
bad song. I just said they came down whining like, "Oh, I'm not going to do it because flagging." But we were all like, and I think we were like, well, we think it's going to be Vigilus Destroyed next. Smash cut to Warhammer Community a couple weeks ago, and we start getting the stories of
80 days ago.
While everyone was focused on Vigilus and the events on there. Turns out there's another planet on the system that's being completely taken over by Chaos, and they're producing a bunch of demon engines and kind of getting
Nemengast? Is that the
yeah,
name of it?
Nemengast,
Yeah,
and
Nemengast.
just kind of making this really strong foothold in this sector, which I think is fantastic because
Great writing.
like the way is like because like everyone's focused on Vigilus and all of the threats in here, and it really captures the insidiousness of kind of Chaos, where they just kind of slowly took over this world, kind of off to the side, and built up to where they are getting ready to go. And Nemengast is where the world of Shadowspear, which is not a new variant of Imperial Guard Super Heavy, but the newest box set from Games Workshop, kind of Dark Imperium 2019.
Yeah, that's an apt description.
Chaos versus the Imperium, 2 complete armies in the box. Gorgeous models.
Most of them.
New sculpts and all models. There's some disagreement. There's some
We've got
controversy.
we have some disagreements here.
I pretty much like all the models.
Yeah.
but
So-
I'm in the minority.
So let's talk about kind of the models in the Shadowspear box.
Okay. Well,
So
we
You want to start with Chaos or Imperial?
let's start with Imperial.
We have our sets that we were sent.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you, GW. So this is a loose review it because at this point we've covered a lot for Danny, but the models, most of them they've been previewed. You've been able to see them on the community site. They've been very, very open about it. I think my favorite model in the Imperium set still has to be the Librarian.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. You're right.
He's just. I have no idea how I'm going to paint that camo cloak, but I know it's.
I would
not gonna
assume
look
in
as
a
good.
camo scheme.
Yeah, but I mean, I know there's no way I'm going to be able to make it look.
You
as
should
good as-
just do it invisible, like the Harry Potter cloak. So just paint it like ultramarine blue.
Yeah, I'm not going to paint him as an ultramarine.
Like they did in the movie before they added CG.
just make a green
Just
screen.
green, yeah.
Yeah, just green screen cloak. No, that's all it is.
But
There.
I mean, he's just a very dynamic model.
Yeah,
He looks
his
good. And
sword
it's-
is pointing. He has a migraine. The cowl is covering his head.
Or you say "milady."
Milady.
That is like my favorite meme for him.
it's great. However, he's not covered in a bunch of gaudy crap, so he looks really like a stealthy guy. Like he's
wearing giant blue armor.
you know what? I mean, just because the armor is big and blue and makes
You
tons
don't.
of noise,
Maybe he's
doesn't have anything
using
to do
mental
with it.
powers
Yeah.
to make himself invisible.
You can't hear that because of my mental powers.
But if
Because
you
I
can't-
turned down your headphones.
If you can't see him because of the
Just turn me
cloak,
off.
it doesn't matter.
No, I just turned down the headphones.
You know.
Son of a
No,
bitch.
but it
where
is
the
a
sound's
gorgeous
coming
model. It looks great. The
Yeah.
kind of the camo cloaks over it, and like I think we were talking about before, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's a giant blue marine. How's it stealthy?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're seeing him when he's in the revealed stage." I
Right.
mean, there is the ability to be stealthy. I mean, we've talked about it in past episodes, Dave, where Custodes, like 9-foot tall golden warriors of the Imperium, are stealthy assassins when it needs to be.
Yep.
So there's no reason why a Primaris can't be, stealthy.
So one of the details that they talked about in the GW reveal seminar that I thought was really cool is a lot of these cameling cloaks have little, like, you know how a power sword has the power wire that goes up to it?
Yeah.
They also have power wires attached to parts of their robes, so they're actually like mimicking the terrain around them. So they're like the Predator.
Oh shit! You just made them
Yeah.
like 3,000% cooler.
You're welcome.
Now I hate him. I never liked the Predator. I was
What?
always a fan of Arnold.
Get out. I mean,
Danny Glover is a great Predator too.
so I like Predator 2 better than Predator,
Yeah.
but that's a thing for another day.
That's another discussion for our Predator cast. But yeah, gorgeous librarian. Other characters in this box.
for
We
Yacht Joe
have a Primaris captain. We also, of course, have a Primaris lieutenant.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
All right, so
He needs a buddy.
I'm really disappointed they put a Primaris lieutenant in the box. Not because they, it's like, oh, they put a Primaris lieutenant in the box. Hooray, another Primaris lieutenant. But just because I don't feel like the box needed it. If that makes sense.
I mean, it kind of does. I feel the way the rules for them, and we'll kind of delve into this in a little bit here. Having those auras and kind of having those buffs around really helps this specific force. So having that lieutenant there is a super. And what they're wanting to do is kind of make this playable out of the box. And I feel kind of the auras that the lieutenant's giving out to the units there, super helpful.
It's a patrol detachment. No, because it's got 3.
No, it's a
headquarters.
battalion. Yeah,
It's not a battalion.
there's 2 troop choices there. isn't
No,
there?
no.
No, it's
And
just one.
you would still need 3 troop choices.
There's one troop, one fast attack.
I mean, you could technically
Just buy 3 boxes.
battalion.
smart.
So
Smart.
it can be at most 2 troop choices, I guess, because you could split the squad
Yeah,
of
into
eliminators
5,
in
yeah.
half.
Yeah.
But there,
'Cause they could
but
be 5s.
But honestly, that's one squad, like
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because you can't take the Helix Adept by himself.
You're right.
like,
It
with a
has to
squad.
be taken in. It has to be somebody upgraded in the squad.
It has to be part of the extra 5 people that you attach to it.
Right. But you can have the extra 5. You can have 10 just infiltrators by themselves.
Sure.
You don't have to have the adept, but if you don't have the adept, what are you even doing?
Well, I mean, he's 10 points, so that's just something to think about.
So worth it.
Hey, do you like Reavers? Do you like Primaris Marines?
Those 2 things.
What about if they fuck and produce a baby armor? If you do,
It's called Phobos armor.
you have Phobos armor, which is the troop choice in this box here. Like I said, it comes with like a Helix Adapt, who has a lot of kind of great rules for kind of field fixing. I think he can bring models back from the dead.
So he can heal a wound for like automatically.
Yep.
Or if there's a dead model, he can bring one back on a 5+.
Which is great.
Yeah, solid.
It's not quite full on apothecary level, but it is pretty good.
Can I talk about the lieutenant for a moment?
You can talk about lieutenants back
no,
up here.
let's
Yeah.
skip the lieutenant
So
altogether.
the thing that I am that it really is important to the lieutenant to me is that this box doesn't contain any Reavers, and Reavers are in Phobos armor, but the lieutenant is a Reaver. And so I think it's important to tie that visual quality to the rest of these Marines so you can include Reavers in this and still have it kind of be fit thematically
Meshed.
together.
Yeah, but unless Reavers get a change to troop choice, I mean, they're elites, and I feel like the snipers in the box set are better.
Vanguard all the way, baby. Get yourself
Or-
a stew going.
Sure, or you can take. Reavers are an elite choice, so that fills out every single slot in Phobos armor. All they have to do is amend Reavers, their data sheet, to say Phobos, and I think that they might.
The snipers are elites.
Hey, do you like
I think
Reavers?
the snipers are actually
Yeah.
hippies.
Do you like
Let
Reavers
me look through the book.
and also Scouts? Do you not like old school Scout heads but want weird guns that do fucking instant wounds on 6s? Then you're going to
Yeah.
love the new Primaris
Infiltrators.
Infiltrators.
Yep.
Also in the box. Great models. I love how they pay homage to the Scouts. And the way
right.
they kind of
Yeah.
the cloaks fall, the way the positions is with the guns.
I really like the guy with the smoke grenade.
Eliminator Squad.
Yeah, the Eliminator Squad.
They are heavy. You're right. There is no elites, so you're right. Reavers do fit in that.
They're great. Like I said, I'm a big fan of these Primaris snipers. I'm not even going to call
man.
them Scouts.
I'm
The Eliminators?
Yeah.
The Eliminators
they're-
are amazing.
So they're a heavy choice, and they're just sexy. I mean, the models are good looking.
I think the only problem I can find is for Primaris, heavy support is a very
Limited.
full slot. There's a lot of options in heavy support.
You're either taking these guys or you're taking
Hellblasters.
Hellblasters, and Hellblasters are real good.
So, like I'm saying, there's just some competition in kind of that heavy support slot.
But Eliminators are really good at killing characters. And
Super
units
good.
that they can't see.
Yeah.
But we'll go over the rules after this.
Yeah.
So
So let's move to the most hotly contested model in this set.
The hottest model on the block.
Is it the lieutenant?
No, the suppressors.
The suppressors.
Okay. First off, I love the name. Hated it at first, but now that I've seen the rules and looked through it, I actually really like the name. I
Is
feel
it
actually
because they
fits.
suppress things?
Exactly. Wow. So good.
Shocking.
Makes me just
Suppressing.
Makes me
It's
wonder about the
suppressing.
inceptors, what they're incepting.
Shots because
My
get them to
dreams.
fuck off the table.
Yeah.
But the suppressors, I read a lot of things. I think I replied to a couple of things because I'm a huge defender of these models. To me, these are the most 40k model in the box.
Okay.
Really?
So looking at them, they have the moon boots on, and it's being described before as those boots are kind of to absorb impact. So when they jump out from like planetary assault, they kind of land gently. So I have this image in my head of these guys jumping out of a Thunderhawk or a Primera Hawk or whatever the fuck they jump in
I forgot
nowadays.
what the thing's called.
It's got an actual. It's like Dominion or something.
Yeah,
Something.
they jump out. You know, they have the little fins on the back, adjusting them like in Master
Grab
Chief
chutes.
does in Halo 2. That's how I imagine that drop going in. And then when they land in the ground, they shoot their smoke launchers, and they just kind of boom in this huge cloud of smoke. And then they just start like walking forward slowly with their thing. Now I know in the rules that's not
Yeah, it's like-
necessarily what they do.
They walk forward really fast.
But to me, that's a great visual of just this
Yeah.
planetary assault of this. Like the way they were described in the Warhammer TV was that they were the kind of the fast moving recon heavy option. So like
Right.
to kind of give heavy support quickly.
Sure.
They're who are dropped in. So like I said, I just see them being pushed out of the Primaris jump troop ship thingy and just slamming down on the ground and
That's,
still
I-
opening fire right away.
I think it's actually called an aspiring overlord. Is the drop ship for?
Now
It's the
Spiky
Overlord,
Bits is
right?
going to
Is that what
have
it's called?
I think it's actually called the overlord.
Yeah. But now Spiky Bits is going to have an article saying new model from Forge World Primaris dropship thingy
And you know what?
coming soon.
I would be completely okay with that. I think Spiky Bits is awesome. Please give me more points next time you grade me in the doubles tournament.
Anyway,
So yeah, so that's kind of the Marine side. Thematically, I love the way that it's all.
so wait, hold on. Suppressors.
Yeah,
I want to
Sorry,
talk about
okay,
suppressors.
okay, you can talk
All
about suppressors.
So, have you ever seen Frisky Dingo?
Yes.
I just
Boosh.
met Kick Pants. Like, so like that's what they remind me of, and they're fine. Like the models are fine. Like I'm not really bitching about them. Like I want to see them in person.
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen them in person, but like I want to see them like
Well,
I want to
you've
see them
seen
built.
unassembled. We just got
Right.
them today, but
Right, I want to see them built and like in 3D in front of me, and I think that's probably going to improve my opinion of them almost as every single model that I see that way does.
And like I said, as someone who like hardcore mainlined Halo 2 in my early 20s, just I imagine them dropping in with like the little fins, just doing little adjustments and just unleashing hell when they land.
That's cool.
yeah,
You know, and like for me, that visual is like, okay, I'm bought in on this model.
Sure.
I can believe it now.
Right.
I mean, I post stupid memes about them on trampolines and shit like that, but I think it's a solid model
It's
when
out
you
of
look into
love.
it.
I mean, like I said, the only model I don't like is Lieutenant, and I have my personal reasons for it. But
Luckily,
they're nothing
you
wrong.
already
Yeah.
own like 30 other lieutenants.
Yeah, I still have to own this one because I have my collection to fill out.
We'll talk about his rules, but I think he's the best lieutenant.
I mean, rules wise, you're right, but there's nothing stopping me from just making a lieutenant using some of his bits and a reaver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So that way, I can still forge my own narrative, you know, and not have to deal with the dude that's got 8 knives.
It's like I forged your mom's narrative.
Yeah. Hey, let's move a little heretical here to the Chaos.
no,
Oh.
Yeah, the Chaos side of it.
no, thanks. I'm still good. Let's talk about Captain. I
Oh yeah, move live. So I
So-
kind of touched on him a little
Yeah.
bit.
I love that model.
Dude, I actually really like that model too. He's not stealthy in the slightest. There is no infiltrating with that guy with the way that pose is. I love the
Because
the
he's
pose.
yelling.
Right.
He's
literally-
revealing himself in shock and awe.
He's just like, no, you're going the wrong way.
They're over here.
Do you think he had us?
But I love
Just-
pointing and yelling models. Like I don't know, for whatever reason it does.
That's your
it
jam?
Does it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does it for me.
you know, there's enough on that model that I can cut off to make it less gaudy, in my opinion.
Just give him a Bane mask. That's all it needs.
Oh yeah, you know
if you
what?
cover the mouth or put a helmet on it, it's just a stealthy guy pointing.
no, I'm not going to do that.
The model's in the other room, but I want to see if he has a helmet. I wonder if he does.
well, we haven't gone. We had to record first. Then somebody wanted to get us drunk before we started recording.
Yeah, thanks
John, you
Patreon.
son of a bitch.
So Danny and I will be doing a Danny's video for you guys later, where he gets super hyped. John will not be there because his parents are in town.
Yes, my
and-
parents flew over from the UK with cherry bakewells,
Oh my god, what an amazing treat!
which I shared with the boys as a reward for making them drink horrible things for Patreons.
Thanks, John.
I mean, to be fair, I'd had it earlier last year in April. But
To be fair,
to be fair,
You turn very British when eating Rudyard Kipling desserts.
Dave drinks all kinds of nasty things every day. Oh man, great.
so I just, as far as model wise goes, I like all of the models in this set. I mean, are there things I wish were slightly different? Yes. I mean, I would prefer to see Inceptor backpacks on the suppressors, but I don't need to because I like what they've shown me so far.
Forge and Arab, dude. Just
Yeah.
slap one of those bad boys on their back.
Throw it on.
I'm not sure I want to put them on the flight stands. I might try to figure out a way to have them bouncing off something on the
See,
ground.
what super irritates me is when you see people like photoshopping up the conversion when they put it on like regular marine legs. Because I'm like, you guys aren't understanding the purpose of them or how they are
Oh,
deployed.
are you talking about the Photoshop that had the regular marine jump pack on the
Yeah,
back?
had a jump pack
that
and-
actually had regular Primaris legs.
Well,
on it.
it had regular Primaris legs. It had a jump pack on the belt. It's like, but you're not understanding how they're deployed. You can see a jump pack coming. You can, like, this is a short range thing. These suppressors, they're supposed to just jump down, like I said, and just shock and awe. And it's just,
Well, and silently. I think that's why there's no Inceptor backpack on it, because the Inceptor backpack makes a bunch of noise when you fire it. It's a
when
big,
Dave fires it, it goes,
We've all played against Dave. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happens.
Thanks, that was
Dave.
Dave
Thanks for
making those
smashing my-
noises.
Thanks for smashing my narrative, John.
He didn't forge it. He smashed it.
I didn't
Just
realize
like you did
Dave's
with your
mom was
mom.
called
Yeah.
your narrative.
Come on.
Yes.
I'm glad we thought of the same thing.
You know what?
Oh, man.
There are 3 Bakewells left, and
Hey.
I'm going to eat them all.
Don't eat those. Those are a treat from England.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if I gave one to you?
No.
All right, that's fine.
So let's move over to the show side.
I don't think there's anything in that box.
The heretical side.
Coas side. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Let's talk about the Spider McGee,
Oh.
Shelob, the heretic demon engine.
The
Hold
Venom
on.
Crawler.
Start at the beginning here. You got to go with the Master of Possession. That model is
Goat
awesome
Boy.
looking. I mean, I honestly think he's really cool looking.
He's great. He's a good model.
He's really cool. Yeah, he is. I think what I like about him is he's really indicative of the new Chaos style, where it's kind of before
It's
like
the
the early kind of chaos models where it was like, yeah, so that Marine, yeah, just add some spikes. Yeah, just add some more spikes. Just a little bit more spikes.
Really?
And a skull.
Maybe a skull.
Oh, and make sure that you line all of his shoulder pads with some pointy trim.
Oh yeah. Oh, in his backpack, just stretch that shit out.
Yep, because it's old.
Yeah. So like that was kind of the aesthetic to me. It was just kind of like and I was never really a huge fan of that old like super mutated like ornate Marine, right? Especially when you start playing stuff like 30K. God rest its soul, but and it's kind of like just because they're chaos, they're not necessarily like these weird elongated armors. There's very few things in 40K that have like an exact 30K analogy, apart from maybe like that Nurgle flyer and things like that. So this kind of new, cleaner, spiky chaos that's come out is just goddamn fantastic. And
yeah, it looks amazing.
The Master of Possession here, he is like really kind of indicative of that, where he looks evil looking at
And he's very dynamic.
He's very
very
dynamic.
dynamic.
He's jumping. He's moving. It continues like the fire stuff. It's just a super, super good thing.
Yeah, he's a great
Yeah.
model. I love the goat skull.
Yeah.
I love the fire.
And I like his.
I love lamp.
I love Lamp.
I really like. I like his rules. He is a fluffy narrative good piece. So
Yeah, he's solid.
normally you get like your choices are this piece is very fluffy and fits the lore, or this piece is some OP awesomeness. It's never both, right?
Sure.
And
It's-
I feel like he might actually be pretty close to both.